made that decision, the next steps would be to set up a call with one of our account managers and solution engineers, and we will go over the solution in a little bit more detail with you, address any questions or concerns you may have, and and the next step to that would be a discovery workshop where we will start asking the right questions. We have a questionnaire that we've built that we can share with you that gets us the basic level of information needed, such as users, volume, transaction volume, and stuff like that. That gives us a high-level picture of what we're looking at. But the discovery workshop will go a little bit more in detail, in depth, and try and help us design the solution for you.
Thank you so much, Sean and Bruce. This finalizes the end of our presentation. We will take a few minutes to address any questions that you have. As mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, you can type the questions in the questions box, and any questions that we don't get to, we can follow up after the webinar. So we'll just take a few minutes and see what questions have come.
So there has a question that has come in which asks, is the solution a multi-tenant architected solution or a single-tenant solution? It's a very good question, and the typical cloud solution is usually a multi-tenant solution, but I believe this is the way global trade GTS is. This is something that we will decide after further. This will be decided a bit after the discovery workshop on what level of functionality and what level of complexity that is involved in the solution. We can cater to both multi-tenant as well as single-tenant, but traditionally, based on our experience and based on what we've seen, a single-tenant solution is more suited as long as it caters to the pricing needs of the customer, and if we can manage that and achieve that. That would be the recommended solution, so that takes into picture the continuous improvement plan that I earlier talked about, and that takes and that actually supports that. In a multi-tenant solution, the continuous improvement, let's say we have multiple customers on, then the continuous improvement will not be specific to that customer. The roadmap will not be specific to that customer, and a lot of things change. So depending on what the customer's needs are, if they're happy with the delivered functionality and don't have any specific roadmaps, then it can be a multi-tenant solution. But ideally, what we recommend would be a single-tenant solution, just to make sure that that continuous improvement plan can be put into place, and the customer benefits the most from that. So so there's a question, can we get a copy of the presentation that was recorded? And the answer is yes. All participants that are registered for this webinar will receive a recording for this the recording of the webinar. So the next question is, what is the subscription model by feature or per user? Excellent question, Sundar. That again will be decided on the discovery. The subscription model is based on multiple aspects. As I said, volume, transaction volume, complexity, user base, geographical locations, and number of things. To to answer your question, simple answers, yes, it is going to be user-based, but it is going to be impacted or affected by all these other aspects as well. So that's the best answer I can give right now. Another question was, will there be separate instances for each client? I think I've addressed that on a multi-tenant versus single-tenant question. So the answer for that is the same as that. There is one more question. Is the hosting center SAS 70 Type 2 certified? And the answer is yes. Do you have a slide? One of the questions is, do you have a slide showing what other systems, agencies, government systems, etc., your cloud currently connects to, other than the customers? Excellent question. This is something that is, again, part of the discovery phase that will come up. Whatever systems that your on-premise solution would connect to in regards to NFE or anything like that, we can connect that as long as the other party supports the connection types and other things. So I believe this is something that would have to be addressed in depth at a later stage. We can also, Rajan.
Usually we have a partnership with these different, for example, connecting to Customs Authority. We have the preferred partner, Seaburger. We work through them. So.
Thanks, Rajan. One of the questions is there any performance issue if we implement in cloud? And the answer is no. And yes, depending on what you mean by performance issue. So as I mentioned before, we have different geographical locations to ensure there is no performance issue as far as accessing the system is concerned. But there are, this is mostly dependent on the sizing that goes in place. If the sizing and the questions to the initial answers are adequately answered, we don't see any performance issues coming up. And we also have audit capabilities where we will continuously audit your performances, the performances of each system, and we will address that as it comes along. One of the questions is an interesting question by Paul is, through the managed service content area, can I make manual adds to the restricted party screening about what I'm getting through party lists from MK denial, etc.? And the answer is yes. You will be able to make manual adds. You will be able to make in your own restricted parties lists and stuff like that. So none of that actually changes compared to an on-premise or a cloud solution. You will get the full-blown benefit of the GTS solution as it stands today, even on the on-premise solution. I think Rajan addressed this question in cloud, how we will connect to the customs authorities. I think this question has been answered by Rajan before. The next question is, does my internal ERP system need to be SAP for me to take advantage of these solutions? And okay, I think this is a very interesting question, and we're probably going to have another webinar coming up soon on this specific product offering from Krypt. It's a certified SAP product, and we will be sharing that webinar as well. To give you an answer, the answer is no. It does not have to be an SAP system. We have the capabilities of integrating GTS with non-SAP ERPs as well. Of course, the maximum benefit is with an SAP ERP system, but you can still use GTS with a non-SAP ERP system using Krypt Connect, using our proprietary solution. And Rajan, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I just want to add that from a trade solution, you get the exact whatever benefit GTS provides, even if it's a non-SAP. That doesn't change. Just that, you can connect to any non-ERP. So if you are using any, and GTS is the best of the breed. So we definitely can connect with non-SAP, and we have done that with many of our customers.
Thanks, Rajan. I think someone else is again asking if the hosting centers are SAP 70 Type 2 certified. The answer is yes, Prentice. The next question is, how is the DR managed? Good question again. The disaster recovery is there in place. It will be offered to customers. It's something that you can choose to have or not to have depending on your business needs, IT needs or IT strategies. But yes, disaster recovery options will be offered, and we will share more information on that when we get to that point. Another question from Paul is, if my company already has a strategic software relationship with SAP, how does that impact my ability to use GTS through the Krypt Cloud? There is no impact, Paul. This is something that is blessed by SAP. It is backed by SAP. The SAP's MCAS group also has approved this solution offering. So there is no impact to your strategic relationship, software relationship with SAP. What we can do is, if this is specific to a licensing issue, we can take this offline and I can answer that question to you on how it would impact your, maybe if you have an already existing license, how does that impact you as opposed to a separate licensing need. But I can definitely address that question because I think this is a very specific question to your situation. Next question is, all the security packs and support packs will be applied regularly. Uday, this is something that again ties to the previous question about multi-tenant and single-tenant, depending on that. But the answer to your question is yes, they will be applied regularly. The patching program or the patching plan will be shared with the customer and approved by the customer before we go ahead and patch. But yes, to answer your question, they will be applied regularly. Next question is, what is the recommendation if we need to get the data in bulk from the cloud for some reporting needs? This will impact the volume, the transaction volume that I had talked about, and this will impact some of the sizing and pricing areas. But we can definitely make that available. Rajan, you want to add something?
Yeah. So I know we have this is a reporting need. We also are coming up with our SaaS model called visibility of product. If you're interested, we can share with you those details as well.
Yeah, thanks, Rajan. Yes, so we have another product which is Krypt Visibility, which is targeted towards the reporting capabilities of GTS, and we're coming up with a SaaS offering for that as well. So that ties in, that answers, that makes sure that you won't need to extract any data out of the cloud. You can actually get your reporting needs right then and there from GTS.
And that wraps up the end of our webinar. It looks like we've answered all the questions here. If you do have more questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can either reach us at info@kryptinc.com or Shantanu's contact information is provided as well.